person getting paid every time a social media follower loved their content? Well, there's an app for that, and it's called Fanbase. It's a subscription-based social networking platform that helps users monetize their own content while organically growing their following. Founder and CEO of the Fanbase app, Isaac Hayes III, joins us now with all the details. Isaac, thank you so much for being here.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Okay, so we are excited to dive into this. So tell our soulmates all about Fanbase. Break it down for us. How does it work?
So Fanbase is the first microcast social media network that's subscriber-based that allows any user to have subscribers and followers on the same page and earn money through virtual currency called love. So you can have followers like you do on any social media platform, but you can also post content for your subscribers. Now, I think you see a lot of other platforms starting to adopt this model, but Fanbase was the very first social network to allow a user to subscribe to another user via in-app purchase. So we're proud of that.
Well, speaking of other platforms, I know you get this question a lot, but let us know what's set Fanbase apart from the other social media platforms.
I think we lean heavily into showing users content. Everybody on all these social media platforms complain about visibility when in fact, platforms like Instagram and Facebook are in competition with the user base because they can't allow you to have the same visibility that they charge brands for. Why would Instagram show your content to 1 million people when they're going to charge Target to reach 1 million people? So for that very reason, they suppress your content down to about 3 to 4% of your following, and they only allow that to get through to people that you follow. On Fanbase, there is no limitation on your visibility. So if you run it with 100 million followers, we're sending your content to 100 million people. That is the point. We want to allow as many people to see your content as possible.
And we touched on this very briefly, but explain, how does the monetization happen? How do users get paid on Fanbase?
So on your profile, you can follow someone, and there's also a subscribe button. So anytime somebody presses that subscribe button, you receive revenue. A subscription on Fanbase is $4.99. You receive half of that revenue. That's $2.50 per subscriber, which is right on par with what Twitch and YouTube do as far as their subscription models that they're trying to implement. And so it allows you to really monetize your fan base, right? I think the most inefficient thing that you can do is try to build a following, right? A business off of a following. You don't build a business off of a following. You build a business off of a fan base. 95% of people that follow you passively, like a magazine at the grocery store, or they're nosy, or they're haters. The other 5% are your fan base. And if you even take 5,000 people paying you $2.50 a month, that's $12,500 a month. That's $150,000 a year. That's more than 96% of Americans make.
That is very interesting. Thank you for breaking that down for us, Isaac. You know, you've been able to raise a lot of seed money for Fanbase. In fact, you're doing another round right now. Can you explain what that means, and how can the average person invest in Fanbase?
So I've raised over $6 million in equity crowdfunding on a platform called Start Engine. We just launched another raise probably less than a week ago. We've already raised close to $300,000. I'm raising $2.5 million. You can go to startengine.com/fanbase right now and invest. The minimum to invest is $250. And what that does is it allows you to have equity in a social media platform like Instagram, like Facebook, like TikTok, but in its seed stage, which no regular person, no average American or no average investor has the opportunity to do so because of accredited investor rules. So only rich people have often been allowed this opportunity. So I wanted to open it up that the users have an opportunity to own part of the platform. And that's significant because they're the ones that make the platform valuable. No users, platforms don't have value. So I want to allow users to actually have equity in social media. So anybody can invest, right? The minimum is $250 to invest. And you can go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest.
I want to talk about something really quick that I know is close to your heart. You know, a lot of Black creators are not getting what they deserve for their content. We've done stories here on the Black Report where creators have been promised one thing by a social media platform, and yet the opposite happens. But I know at Fanbase, Black creators are centered. Black culture is centered. Talk about why that is important for you to create a space like that on Fanbase for Black creators.
Well, number one, Black culture is the economic engine of social media. We give our dances to TikTok, our clapbacks to Twitter, our skits to Instagram. We give all of our sauce to these platforms, but there's really never any economic return to the creators that invent all this culture, especially young Black kids from all over the country. And so with Fanbase, I don't have an agenda to minimize the visibility of people of color to run ads to make money, which happens on other platforms. Other platforms, the visibility of users is limited because they want to generate the massive amount of ad revenue that comes from white advertising as opposed to Black advertising. And so on Fanbase, we don't run ads. It's about the user being able to express themselves and make as much money as they can through their fan base.
Mm-hmm. And really quickly, we are running out of time, but I know there's a lot of other things happening inside the app. You've got Flicks, you've got the audio rooms. Can you quickly tell us about how each of those work?
Yeah, so you can post photos and videos, stories which are monetized, so you can have them for your followers and subscribers. Audio rooms like Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces, but they're also monetized live. But when those hearts float up on the side during live, you actually make money. And then Fanbase Plus, which is actually your Netflix, your YouTube that you can put content behind paywalls. So if you have a podcast, a reality show, a documentary, a tutorial, you can put that behind a paywall for your subscribers to pay for up to 2 hours worth of content on Fanbase Plus. So I really want everybody to have the ability to turn themselves into a business, just a phone. That's what Fanbase does. It allows any person on the planet to turn themselves into a business with just a phone.
And lastly, Isaac, how can people find Fanbase? Is it in the App Store? Where can they go to download the app?
Yeah, you can download the app on iOS and Android. You can go to fanbase.app as well, but it's available in over 170 countries, iOS and Android, and you can also invest the same way. You go to fanbase.app or startengine.com/fanbase to invest.
Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of the Fanbase app. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.